I'd like to start by sharing with y'all that my family's been in this state since my ancestors settled here via the land lottery as a Revolutionary War hero. We've been here that long, both my mother's and my father's people. My great-grandparents lived on Marietta Street, downtown Atlanta. My grandparents lived in Lakewood. This is my home. My roots are so deep that I'd die if I left. They're incorrectly titled, first off. They're not monuments, they're memorials to the dead. That's what they are. They're to our fathers and our grandfathers and our sons and our grandsons. Every man from the age of 12 years old to 70 that stood up and went to fight and never came home. We don't know where they're buried. We don't know if they're in mass graves like the one in Jonesboro. You know, there's a few stones there in Jonesboro, but there's over 100 men buried in a trench down the middle of that with no stone. What about them? What about those soldiers whose names are not spoken? And I'd also remind everyone that the Confederate soldiers were granted full veteran status and benefits. And, you know, that in essence makes this destroying American war memorials. These are to Americans. And what happened to the women of New Manchester and Roswell, Georgia, I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with that, but I would strongly urge you to look it up, not on Google, go to Yahoo, and search the women of New Manchester and Roswell, Georgia, and look what happened to them. The best I could find was a very softened version, but these 2,000 women were taken out of mills and held in a POW confinement camp across the street from the Atlanta Brewery just after Sherman's men came through and Atlanta was occupied. They go into the brewery and get drunk and stumble across the street, and what do you think they did to those women? I mean, don't they deserve these monuments to stay? They can't speak for themselves, and neither can my ancestors, but I can, and I will. I love my history, my heritage, and my culture, but I love every history, every heritage, and every culture. I want to learn about you. I want to know more about you. The whole racial thing, in my opinion, is nothing more than the U.S. government jumping in, trying to distract from the crap that they're doing, that we all need to be paying attention to. And it's...
Well, thank you very much. Very much appreciate it.